Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. This is the Don't Punt Hour. I'm here with Demorne Pearsonell, host as always. I'm running the ones and twos. I'm Harrison Arns. And I think it was yesterday. Yeah, you were in here yesterday. We were talking about Michigan 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
Okay.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, we were breaking down the Michigan sign stealing. We didn't quite have DP in studio today. I know he's getting surgery today, so hopefully we'll get him in next week. We're always break it down some more. But about 3 hours ago, we did get this from CBS. Connor Stallion suspended. Michigan suspended analyst Connor Stallions with pay on October 20th for the duration of the NCAA investigation. So it's just until the investigation is over currently.
Okay, that's still not saying anything. That's proper protocol and procedure of something. That's not saying that something is wrong. That's just, if whatever gets figured out, later down the line, well, we suspended him from when it was figured out to when. So okay.
This investigation better be worth it, is all I'm saying. Because you are taking, now if Michigan, you've taken away their analysts. And if this investigation comes not to fruition.
I mean, teams have multiple analysts. So, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying that Michigan is hurting from it, So we'll see. But, I mean, it's because you have multiple analysts, in a position. You just don't have, 1 to 2 or anything like that. Typically, each.
So you're thinking the lead guy being out, the other guy should be able to pick up the slack regardless.
Yeah, I mean, each position room has an assistant or maybe an additional 2 guys. Those are pretty much analysts. So those are the guys that are watching film. Those are the guys that are diving into something, looking into stuff, bringing suggestions along to coaches and whatnot. And those are the guys that go places and get. A formal position, a wide receiver coach or, a tight ends coach or something like that. Like that, they're analysts first. So, I mean, they're just another coach. So I don't think just because they, suspend one guy that the whole thing is like not they're down a man or anything like that. Like, I mean, the ship will still keep moving. You know what I mean? So
one man down, next man up.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It'd be like
two or three guys gotta watch more film or gotta come up, with the game plan or fill in his role for whatever, what his part of the game was that, I don't know if he was an offensive side or a defensive side of coach. So you don't know if he's responsible for, the run game install or, plays to help against that or, fronts or if he's like, the scout coach to where like, okay, well, I'm watching film to write up like the scout cards for our offense to run off of or the defense to run off of. So it's, again, whatever his job is or whatever like his responsibilities was with the team and everything like that, somebody will pick the slack up.
Yeah, and with Michigan right now, they're in a good spot to where they should probably keep on rolling here. I'm not expecting Michigan to slow down.
Okay, so I mean,
they'll be balling. This is what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to face them too much.
You didn't took away their coach already. They still, handled that situation and everything like that. Somebody might get fired. The school will probably get fined and on to the next thing. You know what I mean? So the NCAA will handle, what they will and everything like that. But
they'll do their best. I'll be on my opinion of the NCAA. Gets worse and worse throughout the years.
I have some words for them.
Yeah, them dragging their feet, all this entire time about the NIL, and now it's like toothpaste is out the bottle. You can't put it back in. You guys wanted to drag your feet on it, and now it's a mess.
For them to even try and put regulations on and no, you can't do that anymore and X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, why didn't y'all come up with that at first, or why didn't y'all implement that at first? Like it was trial and error, and y'all don't like that, or it's a negative thing, and now you want to change your mind and you want to take away something or put regulations on certain things. When I understand it was a new experience to kind of figure out. I get that and everything like that, but you still could have put more restriction or try to
implement it slowly. It's a lot.
So I mean, they're them.
That's a good way to put it. They're them. I do want to ask you. We did have the Matt Rule presser today. Says a few interesting things on here. When you were playing for Nebraska, did Bill Pelini ever coach the scout team? I feel like that's a rare thing. Like
the full on scout team,
like full on scout team.
I wouldn't say like full on, but making corrections or saying like it's not going to be like that, it's going to be like that, or show it like this or something like that, but not fully being over there and coaching him.
Okay, I want to play this audio clip from Matt Rule because they kind of asked about, he mentioned it earlier, how he's been coaching the scout team, and they further asked on, how often is this? And if you guys want to join the show, playing some clips here from Matt Rule's press conference today, 402-464-5685, but why he coaches the scout teams at practice.
Yeah, I've done it pretty much my whole career. I like to have those connections with those guys. There's been some years where I do one day defense, one day offense. I just think it helps me really identify young players. And I'll sit there and be like, why is Kane over here? Get him up with the defense. Why is James over here? Why is Sua? Why is Vincent? If left to their own devices, offensive coaches will make the guys just run cards and stand here and get blocked, and they won't become good players. So I go over there and say, don't listen to them. Go do this and go do that. So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at least. So I enjoy it. It's a way for me to, I used to be a pretty good football coach before I was a head coach. And so it's a way for me to go do some football.
I kind of love it, right? Just having that responsibility and you're seeing that a lot. And it's a good thing he's been doing it, because you look at the offensive line, you obviously got a bunch of new guys you got to plug in there, wide receivers, got to plug in young players there. So to have a guy like Matt Rule be on that scout team, at least he has eyes on it too. He can kind of see some of these guys' athletic ability early and find a way to move that personnel, which has been a really common theme throughout this entire season, is moving guys around. You saw it with Fleeks, Johnson's getting more reps now at running back. Like, guys are moving left and right.
It's not a bad thing. I mean, and when the headman's over there and everything like that, everybody's attention is actually on stuff and everything like that. I mean, I agree with what he's saying of getting to know the whole team. It's a first year them being here and everything like that, you doing things differently, or bringing something different to the table. Guys being heard or being felt and everything like that. I don't think anything's wrong with that or weird with that. That's a different perspective of doing stuff, and I don't see nothing but beneficial stuff to come out of that, because the kids are going to be more on their toes, and the head coach is over here, so trying to go and make plays and everything like that and whatnot and everything like that. So I mean, I think that's all beneficial. I don't think that's bad or anything like that at all. I mean, as a head coach, he delegates a lot of the time and everything like that. So I mean, if he sees an area to where he can help the team get better with stuff and everything like that, why would you want a guy to do that, even if it's a little unconventional or maybe something different or whatnot? So I'm hats off to him. Keep it up.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at me. Their stuff has been working for them and everything like that, and you kind of get a stronger pulse of everybody, not just the guys who play, the guys who maybe who are redshirting or not. They can get or feel like they'll actually be seen for the next following upcoming year. And I mean, iron sharpens iron. So if the guys on the opposite side is helping you day in and day out prepare and everything like that, why not have those guys as sharp as they can to help the team that comes to play on Saturday, to put them in the best position possible. So I don't see nothing wrong with that at all.
No, I love it. Because like you said too, those guys they're locked in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone makes a big impactful play, like they're going to want to make those plays
for sure,
just to get on the field, period. They don't care if it's a lot of those guys on the scout team, man, they don't care if it's special teams. They just want to go out there and play.
Mm-hmm.
Have a guy like Matt Rule back there, able to kind of see it. And then when those arises need for personnel changes, he has a pretty good idea of where they can fit. When you were with Bo Pelini, was he pretty frequently moving guys around personnel wise, or were you guys pretty set? Because a lot of it does depend on injuries, but sometimes coaches will just do it because they see it.
Well, I mean, that year we didn't have like crazy injuries, so we didn't have like like a lot of dudes go down. I think we maybe had like really 3 big injuries maybe like that year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Charles Jackson, he got hurt at the beginning of the season. Adam Taylor broke his ankle. And I think that was honestly like the biggest injuries we had, outside of strain this or a high sprained ankle or something like that. So I mean, it wasn't really too much moving around. It was a veteran group that I think that they were really comfortable in. Certain spots were low, but for the most part, I would say our special teams was probably one unit that kind of would be flushed around a little early on.
Mm-hmm.
We had guys that have walk-on dudes that were there for a long period of time. They knew the system, they knew Bo and everything like that. And the year that I got there, Bo actually led the special teams stuff. So he was actually in charge of all of our special team stuff. Him and I think it was Coach Ellis and Jamrock. I think Jamrock is at Midland. Actually, now he's a head football coach at Midland. So I mean, I would meet with him to go over returns and everything like that, and where the guy's kicking it or whatnot. So I mean, Bo had a pretty good sense of what was there and whatnot and everything like that. He didn't do too much changing around, but like I said, that year we were there, we had a lot of dudes that have been in a program for 3-4 years. You had a lot of redshirt seniors or redshirt juniors that had been in the system. So it wasn't much of an opportunity for too many young guys to kind of get in there and shake things up, because he kind of had dudes. Unfortunately, this team, they've had a lot of major injuries. A lot of people go down, and people have had to step up. I mean, I feel like it's been if it's not back-to-back weeks, it's every other week within the first 6 weeks. So not to say that it was just a different situation.
Yeah,
they were kind of dinged up. That team, we weren't as much back then. So I wouldn't say he couldn't do it or he wasn't able to. It was just he had the flexibility enough to have the right guys and a number of guys that have been there to know the defense, to know the offense, to where if somebody your guard is hurting or something like that, if you can switch them out or give them a break or rotate a guard in here and there, like you had the ability to, but it wasn't needed as much.
Kind of speaking on those injuries, you talked about, obviously, if you blow out your ankle, you're going to be out.
Mm-hmm.
But what is that line for you, a guy who's played, at every level injury wise, especially this new era of kind of player safety? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. People are taking way more account of it. What's that line for players of where the coach is saying, or you're even thinking, play through this injury?
It just depends. Coaches will never put you out there in a worse situation. You got multiple eyes on you. The training staff is there for, your best interest and everything like that. So you just got to have, honest conversations and whatnot. And you never think about necessarily getting hurt. I'm gonna go out here and, something happens or anything like that. But you'll have the right people in your corner to, assess, whether to try and force it and come back and rest and whatnot and everything like that. I've sustained a foot injury my sophomore year, earlier in the year. I could have played on it without it, but at some point in time, I would have had to get the surgery, period. So rather than playing on it and not really, being myself or anything like that, get the surgery done, you'll rehab for, 4, 5, 6 weeks or whatever, come back and you still be able to play for the season and everything like that. And luckily, I had a teammate who had the same injury done on both of his feet. And they had a player that was there the year prior to me that had done it. And the doctors talked to me about it. I talked to both the players about it and everything like that, and kind of got comfortable with the idea. You don't want to go out, but the training staff, that's their profession to necessarily let you know if they can or if they can't. And, it's up to your decision, but, they'll give you your best, chance of.
They'll be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it goes from, okay, what do you want to necessarily do? And then, then it goes up to the coaches and everything like that. So it's a quick process. It's an honest process. It's a hard process because you got to accept certain truths and everything like that. But just, they'll put you in the right place. They don't want you to be out there looking, worse than anything or anything like that. So you just got to trust what they believe, what they see. They have their jobs for a reason. So, and the recovery process is going to be the recovery process, and hopefully you can get back out there quicker than later and make things happen.
Yeah, because I remember, in high school, we always had, some injuries. At the high school level, it's a little different about playing. I remember, I think I've probably fractured 4 joints of my just super small injuries, but just definitely could play through it. But I just always remember going to go, yeah, it's just swollen. You're good.
No,
and now my knuckles are just puffed up forever.
They have an eye for it. And it's like anything who, a lawyer who's in, their counterparts gave up a certain thing and they got them and they can go in and season it and make it come out, or it's like that. So, they have the eye to see it. They have the knowledge to understand what's, wrong and whatnot, and what other functions that are limiting you and everything like that. And they can pretty much rule out a lot of stuff. And then they're typically dead spot on what they tell you what it is. And then you'll get the x-rays or MRIs of it, and it'll either confirm it or deny it, and go forth from there. But they're pretty spot on. So, there's no, and them, they're around all the time. They're like strength coaches, like you're with them every day. Summer conditioning, it's the athletic training staff that's out there. Your winter conditioning, same thing. So, they're a very important key and of making things go, and they have insight, and what they say, like I said, is typically right on the dot. So there's no guessing or this and that. It is what they said it is, or it might be not as bad as they say it is. So that's the good thing about it.
What's the worst injury you ever had to play through, whether at the high school or college level, or you've been pretty fortunate?
I've had injuries. I've had season injuries.
But those are injuries where it's like, yeah, I'm obviously going to be out.
I would probably say my AC joint, my senior year. Both of my I had AC sprains in both shoulders. The opener game, I think we played Arkansas State.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I actually, it was a play I broke on the left hand side. I actually ended up scoring. I stepped out of bounds. They called it back. But as I'm crossing the sideline, a dude trips me, I fall on one shoulder. That was the first one. And I think I came back at some point in time later that year, fall on the other shoulder, AC sprain again. And I mean, it's
damn, you had it on both shoulders, same thing, AC sprain.
Yeah, both shoulders.
How does that happen? Is that just like a weird hit?
I get it could be a hit. You could fall on it wrong, and it's just kind of like, you know how like your shoulders, I wouldn't say separated, but there's, I guess it's stretched out, and you kind of just fall, and the impact of it kind of just
continues to stretch it out where it's not supposed to go.
I guess, and it is an annoying injury. I was getting 4 shots a game just to, I think the first couple of games it was only 2, so I would get one at the beginning of the game, and that was just to make sure like it was numb. But I remember when it happened, I came in the very next play, they give me like a jet sweep on the opposite side, and like I couldn't really like move my arm, and it was hurting. Went to the sideline, went to Mark checked, it was like, yeah, AC sprain, go to the locker room, get shot up. It's like, all right. Went in there, got shot up, came back, was perfectly fine. Now after the game, and the next week of like, you know, the recovery or getting myself to play the next week, it's kind of like a sprained ankle, like kind of working it out.
Super sore in the mornings, probably.
Like I couldn't lift it. Like I had to heat it up, sit in the hot tub, cold tub. They had to work on it, get on a different bike, do different shoulder stretching exercises and everything. It was just a complete annoying
just long rehab, huh?
Man, it was the whole season. It was and one of them, I kind of still feel it.
Really?
Yeah, to this day. I wouldn't say it's as bad. It's just an annoyance with certain stuff and everything like that. But I mean,
that's tough luck. Both shoulders. So were you just walking around with both hands down for, you know, half the year? Like, how were you getting by? Putting your shirt on, all that stuff.
In a hoodie, and it would just I would sit my hands in my pocket because it would just rest. Like I wouldn't have to or anything like that. And then, you know, each day as it gets closer to game day, like it became more easable and more, you know, working it out and everything like that. And then for the game, I would just get the shots. I wouldn't feel it. And then Saturday night or Sunday morning, back to square one of working it out and getting it ready for the next following week. So I wouldn't practice probably like, you know, that Monday or Tuesday, and then try and work back in Thursday. I'm in everything and know what to do and whatnot. It's just, you know, I'm not out there physically like running just to kind of give it, you know, more rest type stuff.
What's going through your head when the second shoulder? Same injury. What ran through your head?
Changed my shoulder pads. And I didn't have any shoulder problems and that's actually what happened. I changed from one pair of shoulder pads that I was wearing my whole career to like a smaller pair of I threw them shoulder pads out. Didn't want them. Didn't like them. And I don't
luck on them.
Oh yeah, no, it was over. Nope, didn't want them.
Man, I'd just be incredibly frustrated. No, you're talking about the rehab, how it took the entire year to have it happen again on the opposite shoulder. That just make everyday life annoying as hell.
It's the constant, like I said, you getting on a shoulder bike or you getting, you know, getting it worked out and rubbed out and fire cups and scraped left and right and getting it stretched and worked out. It sucked. It was not fun.
Speaking about switching the shoulder pads, we do have 3794 texting in here as you're talking about the trainers. It says DPE. What about the equipment guys? Got any love for them?
Oh, of course. Those are the guys you want to be friends of. They can get you any and everything. When, you know, family coming in, hey, can I get some extra shirts? Yeah, but you know, their stuff is equipment based.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that they have nothing to do with medical or anything like that. Now, you know, bringing out the stretcher or, you know, the cart or something like that. Like they might, you know, be with driving here and there maybe, but I mean, that's, you know, two opposite sides that it's like oil and water. They just don't mix.
Yeah, one's to hook you up with merch, the other's to...
And, you know, I wouldn't necessarily just
merch,
that, but I mean, one is to make sure, you know, that your equipment that you have is safety and it's proper and it's fitting and everything, making sure that your body's protected. The other ones are making sure that, you know, your body is able to do what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, or, you know, that your mind is being able to be conscious and you're doing what so they're complete opposite. Not to say one's any more than the other. No, you need both. They have their own functions and everything like that, but you definitely want to get on the good side of, the equipment manager. Shout out to Jay Terry and them. I know they're still in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, if you guys want to join the show, we'll have a couple more segments, 402-464-5685. Before we go to break, as we're kind of talking about this rehab, to you, what was the hardest part, whether mentally or physically, about that rehab process? Is it the time? Is it the pain?
During which injury, though? It depends. Like, is it one? Is it one?
Tell me which one was worse, and we'll roll with that one.
I'll probably say my ACL injury is probably the worst one. Just because you don't know necessarily, once it's all said and done, like, will you be able to get back in to do you and be comfortable to do you? And it's more so mental than physical, honestly. And shout out to, at the time, the athletic trainer that was there, Brandon. I was having a hard time because that was like my second injury that year. I had the Jones fracture earlier in week 0 before football started, and then came back after that, played 5 games, and then tore my leg up and everything like that. And so he thought I would talk to a sports psychologist. So and to this day, I still talk to a psychologist and everything like that. So I mean, it's stuff like that to where, like, they have an eye for things and can tell you and let you know, I think this is, where you need to be at, and they're with you all the way through it and everything like that. But it's definitely more mental than it is physical, I think. And some other people, it might be physical depending on what it is and whatnot. But I say mental just because you actually got to get out there and actually, trust yourself to do it. And, I don't want to get hurt again. And X, Y, like your mind is just kind of racing. And then all of a sudden one day everything will click and you're just playing, and you're not even worried about it.
So like now when you're playing, do you even think about it, or is it that's all gone?
Every now and then, like, certain things, if I get hit on that leg or something like that, I'll like
flashback.
No, I didn't get hit when I hurt it. I was a non-contact injury, but like something happened hard, and I'm like, okay, can I move my leg? Can I feel it? Okay, I'm good. And I get up and I'll go. But that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do got to go ahead and throw it to our first break here. Again, this is the Don't Punt Hour with DeMornay Pearsonell. I'm Harrison running the 1s and 2s. We got a couple more segments. Then I'll set up from some replays for you guys to kind of finish out Ticket Weeknights on this Thursday. Then tomorrow will be Friday. And before you know it, we got Saturday pregame versus Purdue. We'll throw out the break. Talk to you guys on the other side.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Talk to doctor now and share it.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Don't Punt Hour. I am Harrison Arns running the ones and twos. We got the host, Mornay Pearsonell, in studio as always. This will be the last show for the week, and then we'll reset next week, Monday. And again, it's always at 7 p.m., and no more high school football on Thursdays. So this show will stay consistent, Thursdays, 7 p.m. But nonetheless, we got a little bit of time here left. We kind of talked about the rehab process with the Mornay Pearsonell, some of the injuries you want to play through. And of course, we talked about Matt Rule. We got some audio clips as well. We'll probably save those for later. There's one I want to get to the end here. Just kind of talking about the psychology of results. A little bit of a long one, but I'll save that. We were talking about Ndamukong Suh during the break. Hired assassin kind of guy. When you get to that level, I mean, it happens every year. Someone late down the stretch, when you get to those real playoff contenders, Suh typically lands on one of those teams.
You want to have bodies. Like, you know, it's who can stay the healthiest at that time. Like, you know, things can happen at any given time. So where he ends up, you never know, like, depending where he is. Like I said, I think Philly, because Philly are, those crazy madmen that would decide to do something like that. The 49ers, I mean, I don't think it would. I don't think it would happen, but I mean, because their lineup is already crazy.
You get Bosa, you throw Sue in there.
They have Randy Gregory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got Randy Gregory after the Broncos. Did he get traded or they cut him?
He got traded. He got traded. Like their line is in. Their line was already like nuts, but Randy is probably by far one of the just pure talent from he is a freak.
What was it like playing with him? Because in my experience, I mean, the most electric pass rusher we ever had. For mine, you can name some guys in the past. From when I was
practice was fun, and it was you got guys on the field. You got Amir, you got Malik Collins, you got Vincent Valentine. Vincent Valentine is a Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, man, that's a name I I shouldn't forget. Vincent Valentine was a dog.
You got Zaire Anderson at middle line, Super Bowl champ.
Mm-hmm.
You got Nate Gary, Super Bowl champ. So practice was crazy. It was hectic, So when we got to the games, the games were easier, but I mean, the defense would do something or stop something, the offense would come right back. Amir would do something crazy. I think the craziest thing that I've seen, Amir hit Randy Wood. When I say the meanest jump cut I've ever seen in my life, it was just filthy. I'm talking about
ankles left on the field, like one of those.
To where Randy just looked around to where did he disappear to, and then next thing you know, Amir is breaking down the sideline, and Randy literally runs him down.
He ran down.
Yes,
Amir Abdullah.
Yes, they were running side by side. Now I'm not saying Amir was running full speed and everything like that, but
definitely wasn't expecting Randy to track him down.
Randy to literally he got left in a hole. Amir bounced outside to the left side. Randy turned back inside and literally met him running, and they were literally running down the sideline, talking crazy to each other. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, how do you make that happen? How do you So practice used to be fun. It used to be way easy. Once we got to the games, the games weren't hard. Because in practice we were killing each other. We were going fast. We were up tempo, this and this and that, and okay, the defense do something. Okay, you got to do something. To where it was I felt like that year, 2014, I felt like everybody got their turn to do something. One drive, okay, Amir. Okay, another drive, Kenny would do something. Another drive, Sethan would do something. Another drive, Wesley would do something. The defense would come with a turnover, pin him down. I get out there, I take a punt back. It created, an exciting place to where when we got out there, I feel like in most games, we dominated on all phases. We can score on offense, we can score on defense, we can block kicks, we can block punts. It was real fun, but it's crazy looking back to see, all those guys that you play college with and everything like that, and they've gone on to do things and everything like that. So practice was crazy.
I want to ask you about the 2009 season. That defense was the same. We're kind of talking about it. You get to Texas, Colt McCoy, Ndamukong Suh, Heisman contenders. So I felt like Sue took that personally with Colt McCoy. That game, I have never seen. I don't know if I will see it. A defensive lineman just dominate.
He should have won the Heisman. First off, he should have won the Heisman.
100%. That game right there told the story.
2, they should have been in the national championship. If they don't kick that field goal,
magic 1 second comes back on the clock.
Bo Pelini does the same thing Urban Meyer did with the Gators.
Mm-hmm.
Taking, I think that was taking him, to because what year was that for him?
Let me look it up real quick for you.
I can't remember.
I don't want to misquote.
I don't want to say within his third year or second year or something like that. But I think Urban took Florida to a national championship, I think, in year 2. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if that was Pelini's second or third year, but within
2 national championships, 2006 and 2008, over just a 6-year pyramid. It was 2005 was a pivotal year, so the second year in 2006.
No, for
Urban Meyer, Florida.
Yeah, no, I got that. I'm talking about how many years was Pelini the head coach prior to 09?
Oh, prior to 09. Okay. Let me figure out. While I look that up for you, I do want to ask you, with that defense, was that the best defense in the country? Because what my eyes were telling me, that defense, I don't know.
You can say arguably that's probably a top 5 defense probably of all time. You can argue it. I think, and that's not.
I think so too.
That's not being biased or anything like that. That like the second a defensive player definitely should have won a Heisman for the second time that year. Like he got snubbed. I don't care.
Okay, so it would have been 2000. He was the Nebraska defensive coordinator 2003, interim head coach 2003, and then actually a head coaching job starts 2008. So yeah, 2009 would have been his second year.
So he would have again. So he would have did the same thing that Urban did. If he'd went to the national championship, we're taking him there. Now, I'm not saying that once they get there, they win and everything like that, but I definitely think that they would have matched up with Alabama better than Texas.
I think so too.
Texas, they got out of there literally by crawling. Like they weren't ready for.
I know Cole McCoy was definitely crawling at the end of it. That man took some hits. But still is one of my favorite sacks where Sue breaks through, literally just throws them an extra 5 yards back.
I don't know how you necessarily let something like that, like you end the game on that. Like how did and it's again like I know everybody feels the same way about that, but it's that wasn't right.
The 1 second
that wasn't right.
Mm-hmm. I love listening to Bo Pelini. He still doubles down on it, as you should.
He's still.
Well, it's like one of those things as a coach, you feel like your players are doing everything possibly right. You do what you need to do to win the game. And when things are just out of your control like that, that'll drive you, through a wall. And you can still, but the fact that he still talks about it, I mean, he'll never forget that.
No.
Who will? We won't either.
Who will? Like that, again, that game doesn't happen. Potentially you have a national championship team.
Yeah.
Which offensively wise, I don't think they were 100% great, but
so I was talking about that defense. It's kind of just one of those like, man, how far can this defense? Like, It doesn't matter if your offense is great. You guys were playing. I mean, Texas was an elite offense
for sure.
Shut down, just absolutely shut down. So that's why I say, like, man, I don't know how good of an offense you guys need. Like, yeah, you need that offense to get you enough. But at the same time, the way that defense was playing,
complementary area football, that's all you need
to the T. And it's a lot like this year, but obviously the defense is not to that level. But looking at this Purdue game, looking at Northwestern, looking at Illinois, it's been that defense. We're not winning games pretty. So they've been ugly
as long as they win.
But defensively, man, they're a lot of fun to watch.
The defense has been handling business. So hopefully, they just continue to build on that and everything like that. And then over, the next 2 years or so, hopefully, shades of that can something along the lines of that, with recruiting and developing guys and everything like that. And hopefully that becomes a standard of, having that's the norm of a defense. And hopefully, the offense can, come up with some stuff.
Yeah. And again, you kind of just talking back on that Bo Pelini era. If he gets that national championship, who knows how much longer he's coaching,
I'm not even saying if he gets the national championship. I'm just saying if he gets to that game.
Yeah.
Like, like that in year 2.
When
like
the recruiting that happens after that, like you just don't know what that trajectory would been. It's tough. Well, that's why we talk about it year after year. Yeah, 2 Heismans going at it, 2 Heisman contenders going at it, and that end result, have it end that
and
way
then
too.
I would love to see. I would have loved to see Sue go at Mark Ingram, because Mark Ingram was I think it was Mark Ingram that won it.
Yeah, he actually won it.
Yeah,
Cole McCoy was 2, and I think Sue was 3,
which is crazy.
Yeah, Sue was the Heisman. I mean, look at what he's doing in the NFL.
Was it? You sure he was 2? I mean, you sure he was 3? I thought he was 2.
I think he he might have been 2nd or 3rd. We'll look it up over the break. But I know, like,
I thought he was
in
second.
my eyes, he should have been number 1.
He should have won.
And I think if you go back, hindsight,
that Alabama team was nice though. Still,
it was nice. And like, I'm not saying anything bad about Ingram, but just for a defensive player to have that kind of impact, like, it's always kind of been an offensive war. But there's at times you have to look at what he did for that defense. The way your defense was able to and it wasn't just him. You guys had a great defense, period. But a lot of that starts with the front. You know, you guys aren't able to make plays if you're not getting pressures on the quarterback, if you're making him uncomfortable. That's where the interceptions come from. And that whole defense was clicking. It still bugs me to this day, but we got to throw it to break. I could talk to forever about it, but Dump on Hour with the Morning Personnel. I'm Harrison running the 1s and 2s. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
GMC and Man of the October incentives get better. You won't want to miss this. Happening right now at Coppell. You have 0% financing or $6,500 off MSRP on select new half-ton crew cab pickups. Yes, you heard right. Happening right now until the end of the month. 0% financing or $6,500 off sticker price. Those incentives are the best we've seen this entire year. Hurry on in while supplies last. Just take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All offers include trade-in bonus and with roof credit.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
It's time to get the Class A high school football playoffs rolling right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Seacrest Field as number 6 Lincoln Southeast faces off against number 11 Lincoln East. When these two teams met back on September 1st, the Spartans won a double overtime thriller, 31-28 over the Knights. The winner keeps their season alive while the loser goes home. It's the Lincoln Southeast Knights against the Lincoln East Spartans this Friday night in the first round of the postseason at 7 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. We'll have to go quick here. Don't got a ton of time, but we did look up the Heisman odds over the break, and we do have some texters saying, with the 3 losses, would Nebraska still get in the Natty? Probably not. If you actually break down, probably not. But as we're going through here, a little bit down memory lane, I get excited about my Huskers. That 2009 season, it would have been electric. But I do want to talk about this because we looked up the Heisman race, and this is why it always frustrates me. Ndamukong Suh got robbed just straight up. Now, if you want to argue he should have won the Heisman, I can go back and forth. But he was placed at number 4 in the voting, which to me was ridiculous, especially seeing Colt McCoy above him at 3. And then obviously Toby Gerhart at 2nd, running back for Stanford. Number 1, Mark Ingram from Alabama, running back, and he would rush for 1,658 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6.1 average per carry. So it's insane. So I can see the argument for the Mark Ingram, but with Ndamukong Suh at 4, that's what drove me crazy. Seeing that man go
was
forward.
Was the Heisman after the national championship or it's right before, right?
It's right before. Yeah.
Damn.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's just, it drives me still to this day. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Husker greats, and especially hindsight being 2020, what Sue was able to do in the NFL, immediately plug in and immediately be a threat. It just felt like the guy never quite got the respect. And his stats for this year, 52 solo tackles, 33 assisted, 13 sacks, and a pick versus that was Texas, right?
Yeah.
Was that a pick
Did he run it
six?
back for a touchdown?
Yeah, it was a pick 6.
Yep.
You put a pick 6 against another elite.
It was here.
It was here. It was at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a home game. And that's why that crowd was electric. I just remember the fans losing it every single time. It just got to a point when the announcers are talking about, I've never seen a defensive lineman control a game this way. You got to pay attention.
He was a menace.
Oh, and what are some of those Nebraska defensive players that you feel like don't get their names shouted enough, especially in that era?
What's the guy we were just talking about him?
Jared Crick.
Yep. Levante David. I mean, he gets shouted out, but I still don't think it's where it should be.
Mm-hmm. He gets a lot more props for his NFL. I don't know if he has that NFL career if people are talking about him the same.
He is a different linebacker. They run a 5 too. He's just sideline to sideline, and he has 10 years in the game, and he doesn't look like that he's lost a step. And I know Tay, Tay real cool, real chill. It's crazy regardless. And I mean, it goes back because I think did he only play a year here or he played 2?
I think he had 2 years here.
Yeah, because he was a JUCO dude.
Mm-hmm.
So the stats might not necessarily be there for all 4 years, but I mean, regardless, still what he's done. But I think that's why he gets, not looked at or overshadowed a lot just because he was only here for 2 years.
Yeah, let me double check that real quick here before
he was. I knew he was a JUCO dude. I'm trying to think who else. Same thing with Randy. Randy.
Yeah.
By far, probably one of a different type of athlete that I've seen. But he was only here for 2 years. Moss. He was when I got here. He was gone. He was kicked off the team.
Mm-hmm.
Avery Moss.
Yeah.
And he still got to the NFL and played and everything like that. And I can only hear imagine you had Randy on one side, you had Avery Moss on the other side, you had Malik Collins in the middle, and you had Big V.
My God. Again, that's why I always that defense, man,
so
it's just insane.
That wouldn't have been fair.
Yeah, it's absolutely to this day the best Husker defense I've ever seen. Might be the best Husker defense I see for a long time. But probably. I will say this year, Those black shirts, I like it. I like the progress they're making, what Tony White's doing. Super excited for Purdue. I think it's going to be an interesting game, just kind of because Purdue's going to be ready for that blitz.
Yeah.
We got 24 sacks on the season, but part of it, sometimes we're only bringing 4, and you got guys like Hutmacher getting
We'll
back
get
there.
home, so
Yeah. Who knows?
Good luck. Probably won't.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game to watch, and we will have the pregame show for Saturday. Are you going to be stopping by for the pregame show?
No, I will not be in the state.
Okay. No worries there. No worries there. We'll have the rest of the Hall of Famers. I'm on Green, Jay Foreman, DP. You know the names at this point. We'll get out of here, though. Don't Punt Hour with DeMornay Pearsonell. Talk to you guys later.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy.